Hey everyone, it's Alyce, and welcome to the October round of Hook a Duck TBR game. September was a mess. We're not even going to talk about September because I've just finished my third book of the month. We've got 4 days left in the month and it's just not going to happen. So yes, we're doing a punishment pick today. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why I'm bothering anymore because I think I've only read one of the punishments this whole year. So I need to do like a rollover double punishment thing to make me actually take the punishment pot seriously again, because my reading's just got a bit weird. You're going to see that with the ducks and with what I've picked for them, because everything's a bit of a mess. I'm not able to concentrate on anything. I can't mood read anything because I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for reading. So I'm just scrolling on Facebook more than I think I have in about 10 years. So if I don't read any of the books by the end of the month, I won't even be surprised. But I've tried to make things as interesting as I can for myself based off of what I picked. I was planning on doing a spooky October TBR, and then I was like, I don't really feel like reading spooky books, and I don't think that it would get me picking things up. So compared to last year's October TBR, when we did Trick or Treat, and it was awesome, I feel like this year's a bit of a letdown. But it's fine. We're just going to see how it goes. Who knows, maybe I'll speed through all of these because I'll suddenly be in the mood for spooky books, and then you'll get loads and loads of spooky books in the wrap-up. But I can't promise anything. So, punishment. Oh, okay, but what's in here and I don't want to know. I mean, it's appropriate for spooky month and his books are short. I have to read a book by Darren Shan. Now, Darren Shan is one of Sean's favourite authors, but we started reading the zombie series together and I'm really not enjoying it. I think we got either 3 or 4 books in and I hated basically all of them. So Sean wants me to try more Darren Shan and I haven't brought myself to do it. Sean will be over the moon with this because he can pick either Lord Loss or Cirque du Freak. So we'll be starting either the Demonata series or the Chronicles of Darren Shan? Legacy? I don't know what it's called, but we'll be starting one of those 2 series this month. Because I'm not reading another zombie book. I'm not doing it. So that's not the worst. It's that his books are very short, but it could be a more inspiring punishment. But like, yeah, we'll see how that goes actually. So now, let's get on with the duck picking. Over to past Alyce to pick the first duck for you. So as always, I will shuffle our cards. See what we get this month. Gonna pick 6 ducks again, even though we're hardly reading anything at the moment, so that's probably a mistake. Duck number 1. Is the Sci-Fi Deck, and that Sci-Fi Deck's prompt is... That Sci-Fi Deck prompt is a NetGalley duck. And our first duck was a Sci-Fi duck, and this was a NetGalley duck. I've got 2 options that I'm gonna broach with you. 7 Devils by Elizabeth May and Laura Lamb. Yeah. And... oh, what was the other one? The Infinity Files by S.M. Wilson, who wrote the Extinction Trials. One is an adult sci-fi about 7 crew members, I'm guessing. But I think it's sapphic, and it was an Illuma Crate book last year. So they might end up doing the sequel. So I'd like to have read that before they announce the sequel in case I like it, and then I'll know if I want to buy and read the sequel. And the Infinity Files was on our TBR a few months ago, didn't get round to it. That was kind of the beginning of the non-reading. I'm still interested in it, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have requested it on NetGalley, but they're both sci-fis and I don't think Sean's interested in either of them, so that gives me something to play with my reading for this month, so we'll try that. On to our next duck. Duck number 2. Oh, this is not happening. Is an adult duck And that Adult Duck's prompt is a YouTube recommended or a YouTube favourite book. And our next duck was a blue duck. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I don't remember. Our next duck was a blue duck, which was an adult duck, and this was to read a YouTube favourite or a YouTube recommended book. So this has worked really, really well, because on the 8th of October, my loan of The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune is going to magically appear on my phone via the e-library. So I was going to be reading that this month anyway. That is one I'm actually really interested in, because Under the Whispering Door is one of my most anticipated reads of 2021. The House in the Cerulean Sea was one of my most anticipated of last year, but it wasn't published in the UK, so I didn't have a chance to get hold of it. I think it only got published in May or June. TJ Klune finally got a publishing deal in the UK, so it's on the e-library app now. So I will be reading that this month, and I'm really excited. This is described as a middle grade for adults. It's had amazing reviews from everybody. I've heard people say that they cried and that it's their favourite book of all time as soon as they've read it. So this couldn't come more highly recommended. On to our next duck. Duck number 3 is a yellow duck. That is a fantasy duck. And that fantasy duck's prompt is to start a series, which is completely the opposite of what I was hoping to do this month. And our next duck was a fantasy duck, and that was to start a series. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm reading for this, because I do have a secret TBR on the go. By on the go, I mean I made one of my colleagues recommend me 5 books, because he's like a hardcore fantasy reader. He reads chunky, thick fantasies, and tons of them at once, and he's a proper nerd. Like, it's brilliantly... He's brilliantly intense about his nerdery. And so I was like, oh, I'll get you to pick 5 books that I can read. And I'll read them for you. So that'll be coming in a reading vlog at some point. He has picked some fat boys, so it's going to take me a while. So you probably won't see that reading vlog for a few months. But I'm going to start it this month, because I can't remember off the top of my head because my brain is melting, but I've got a feeling that all of the books he picked for me were all series starters, and they were definitely all fantasy. So... no, one of them isn't a series starter. One of them's like in the middle of a series, but it's a prequel, so it's okay that it's in the middle of the series. But I digress. There are definitely some series starters on that list. They are all fantasy, so I'll be picking one of those. I just can't tell you what they are. Gary, if you're watching this, you're gonna know the shortlist, and I know which one you don't want me to read first, but I'm probably gonna read that first. So we'll see. On to the next duck. Duck number 4 oh, come on buddies. Duck number 4 is a pink duck. That is a middle grade duck, and that middle grade prompt is to read this colour, which means read a book with some pink on it. And the next duck was a middle grade duck, and this was a read this colour duck. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm reading for this one. I'm just going to go straight on to the next duck, because duck number 5 is another middle grade duck. So if I get a 3rd middle grade duck in a row, I will need to add a duck. And that middle grade prompt is also start a series, so this is really not going well. But if I can find a book with a pink first book in the series that is a middle grade, that could help me. Our next book was also a middle grade duck, and this was to start a series. So I was thinking I'll find a book that is the first book in a series and is pink and is middle grade, and it will be easy, and I'll read that to combine these two together into one big duck. Unfortunately, that was the hardest decision I ever made. It seems that there are no pink middle grades that start series off. There are pink middle grades, but they come in the middle of series and not series starters. So, bear with me. Hear me out. I'm going with Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, because by where like the light is coming out of the lamppost, it looks a little bit like lilac-y, lavendery, pinkish. I basically got tired of searching after half an hour of scrolling through NetGalley and Goodreads and the internet at large. So if you can think of a book that is pink and a middle grade and the first book in a series that I should read instead, please recommend it to me down below, and I will probably switch this out. But why not start Keeper of the Lost Cities this month? Considering I wanted October to be the month when I started finishing some series and continuing some series, why wouldn't I just start all new series this month, because these ducks are horrible to me? And over to me for our last duck of the month. And last but not least, I hope, unless this is another middle grade, duck number 6 is... Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, because that's going to knock one over. No, we're not doing that. Oh, come on, buddy. Duck number 6 is a yellow duck. So that's a fantasy duck. We are fine. Just 6 ducks this month. And that fantasy prompt is a Sean pick. So Sean gets to choose which book we read for this duck. And our last duck of the month was another fantasy duck. And this was a Sean pick. And I've spoke to Sean, and he has decided we're going to finish The Shadow Rising by Robert Jordan, which is fair enough, because we got halfway through this book in... Oh my god. Too many months ago for me to remember when it was. But we were reading them last year, and we were reading one a month. So I've got a feeling it must have been like December or January that we got halfway through this one, and just never finished it. So we're going to finish it. That's good, because it means we've already read like either half or 3/4 of it. It's not good because it's chunky and very dense, and the reason that we kind of stopped reading it was because it was the first book in the series that wasn't compelling us. All of the other ones, we were trying to read 3 chapters a day. We ended up reading 7, 8, 9, sometimes even like 20 chapters a day because the story was so propulsive. Even though a lot of people say that the first 3 are really slow and then it picks up after the 4th one, but the 4th one has just ground to a halt. Hopefully it will pick up sooner rather than later, because with how my brain is doing at the moment, it's going to be a chore to get through. But that is Sean's pick for this month, so we'll do it. And those are the 6 books that we're going to try and read in October. I know I cheated and combined a duck together, but we're hardly reading anything at the moment. Like, 6 books is literally double what we've finished this month so far. So it's still very ambitious, and this is strange considering when we started doing Hook a Duck we were reading like 20 to 30 books a month, and 6 books was really easy. And we thought about doing more ducks. We thought about like, oh yeah, we'll hook like 10 ducks a month. But my brain noggin is not doing a good time, and that's becoming increasingly more apparent as the year goes on. So I hope you liked this video. If you're also in a reading slump or having a bad brain time when it comes to concentrating on the books, leave a comment down below and we can try and give each other like a little support group. Hopefully we can convince each other to read again, because at this point it's becoming impossible. So yeah, feel free to have a chat down in the comments and we can figure out an action plan, because quite clearly TBR game is not working for me as an incentive anymore. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. We might not be reading a lot at the moment, but we're still posting lots of bookish videos because I used to read a lot. Yay! If you'd like to hear lots about books from 2015 and 2016, I'm your girl. So, yeah, we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. We'll be back in a couple of days with another video. I have no idea what that will be, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. But I'll see you there. Bye! Runny nose again. Oh my gosh, I hate myself. Oh my god, I'm dying.